Hey you guys, good morning. It's your girl, Dr. Tiffany Hall. This morning I wanted to send a message to all of my fellow educators. Yes, here in Georgia, in some counties, they are already back to school. It's crazy. It is very difficult to get adjusted to as a teacher coming from Michigan, where school didn't start back until after Labor Day, to come to Georgia and then school starts back at the end of July. Yes, we get out earlier, but still, it is like you're all over the place. Like, part of me is like, it's still summertime, and the other part is like, well, but it's time to go back to work and it's time for the kids to go back to school. So, I meant to do a video a long time ago, but a video that was sent to me the other day made me remember that this is something that I wanted to say. Many of you know, I'm a excuse me, I'm a veteran educator. I have been in education for a very long time, and I have taught everything from pre-K to 6th grade to college courses to being a university supervisor for Mercer and observing, monitoring, and evaluating, coaching future teachers. Okay, so I've seen a lot of teachers. I've seen a lot of teachers. I've seen a lot of practices and initiatives come and go. That, in addition to the fact that I am also now in mental health. So I see our children at the point of exhaustion, at the point of sadness, at the point of depression, at the point of being committed to a mental institution because things are not going right at home. Things are not going right at school. Okay? So there are a few things that I wanted to address. Number one, the number one trigger that I hear from adolescents who have been committed to the mental hospital is yelling. Yelling. Nobody likes to be yelled at. Please remember that, you guys. Please remember that. I know. I told y'all I've been a teacher. I have taught every grade. I have been in some inner city schools. I have been in some middle schools where they have said some very inappropriate things to me, where you have said, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down over and over again, and you get to the point where you want to yell and sometimes you want to cuss. Been there, done that. So I am by no means judging you. All I am saying is, when you know better, do better. And be a little bit more cognizant of how you talk to students. I have always tried to be in my classroom and be the teacher that I would want my kids to have. Think about that. So those of you with kids, would you want your child in your classroom? If the answer is no, then you need to switch some stuff up. Switch some stuff up. So number one trigger is yelling. Stop yelling at the babies. I have been in some schools where it's almost like teachers yell while I'm walking down the hallway to show that you have classroom management. Classroom management does not mean that you yell all the time. Absolutely not. One of the most powerful teachers that I know, shout out to Keisha Starks, little pint size, barely made it, 4'11", had absolute class control, and I have never heard her yell. I have been in buildings where that is all you hear, and you are stomping out these kids' spirits. That's what you're doing. I'm gonna just tell you the truth. So stop yelling. Put yourself in timeout. Put yourself in timeout. If you feel like you're about to yell, turn the lights off. That works. That's a de-escalation technique. Turn the lights off. It usually brings the energy down. And then you go sit down for a minute. Or you ask one of your colleagues to watch your class. Or you take that student or those students who are causing you to feel this way and you use them. That's another thing. One of the most important things that a teacher can do is build rapport with their students. One thing that I always did was I had lunch with my kids. The first couple of weeks of school, I put everybody's name in a little baggie and I pulled names. And y'all should see the kids waiting. Oh, am I going to get to have lunch with you today? Am I going to get to have lunch with you today? They love it. And when we sit down and we have lunch, guess what? I'm not Dr. Tiffany Hall. I'm just like, hey, what y'all doing? If we could leave right now, where would we go to lunch? That lets me know how many of y'all get to go out and sit down at a restaurant. If we had to leave right now and go to fast food, where would we go? What's your favorite snack? And I'm taking notes, because if you do something special in my class, I want to know that you like Takis, and I might surprise you with some Takis the next day. Okay? If I say, so what do y'all do after school? That lets me know which of my students are in extracurricular activities and which of those go straight home and do nothing. It lets, how many of y'all have siblings? How many siblings do you have? You need to know your kids. That's it. That right there is the bottom line. Know your babies. And if you really, really, really know your babies, you will be able to have complete control over your classroom. You won't need to yell. Yes, there are some kids that I have had to, boy, if you don't go sit down, let me tell y'all something else. My very first year teaching, it was in January. Teachers, y'all know that coming in January in the middle of a school year is extremely difficult, okay? I've done it 3 times. I have done it 3 times, and in each situation, the teacher before me had basically been run away because the class was off the hook. Well, my first teaching job was in the middle of the year, in the hood, in a trailer. Those of you that are not in education, you don't understand what that means. But that's like the trifecta of all the things you don't want as a teacher, okay? But I had a student. I'm going to shout out to him too, Deja Daniels. Deja Daniels was in my, I think it was 4th grade class at Conley Hills Elementary School in East Point, Georgia, 1998. And I called, Deja was amazing. He was an amazing student for me. And I called his mother. And as soon as she answered the phone, she said, "What do you do now?" Me being me, I said, "Ma'am, he didn't do anything. I'm just calling to tell you that he's a great student and that he's doing really well in my class." She started crying. She started crying. She told me no one, not one teacher, has ever called me and told me anything good about my son. That set the tone for how I was going to communicate with parents for the rest of my teaching career. My very first phone call, my very first text message, my very first email, my very first communication with you about your child is going to be something good. Every child has something good in them. And if y'all can't see that, you don't need to teach. You don't need to teach. Call these parents. Text them. Nowadays, you can just text. I get my parents' phone numbers and put them in my phone. Because if you acting a fool, you want me to call your mama? You want me to call your daddy? You know, it's just a text message away. That's what you want me to do today? But I've already established rapport. Number 1 with my students, and number 1 with my parents. Number 2 with my parents. My parents know if Dr. Hall is calling me or sending me a text, that means that you push the envelope way too far, because I know that she will handle you. I know that she will take care of you. I know that she loves you, and I know that she has high expectations for you. And I know that if she has reached out to me, you have gone too far. You have to get your students and your parents on your side. They are not the enemy. Your parents are not your enemy. Set a level of expectation for your parents. I promise you, they will rise to your expectation. Doesn't matter if you're in an inner city school. Doesn't matter if you're in a Title I school. Doesn't matter if your school has low parental involvement. There are parents that want to be involved, and they are not involved because teachers make them feel unwelcome, or because they have a lot going on themselves and they just need a teacher that is good at communication. Okay? There are so many apps out there that make it easy for you to communicate with parents. Your telephone is one of them. Just send a text message. Isaac had an amazing day today. We need sanitizer for the classroom. Those parents will help you. I promise y'all they will help you. Okay, so I said number 1 trigger is yelling. No yelling this school year. All right? Figure it out. Figure it out. Last things. I so much I want to say. Bullying. I feel like teachers have way more control over bullying, and they are not handling it. I'ma just be honest. Y'all know this whole bullying thing has run rampant. Yes, when we were in school, somebody could, I got this little mole on my nose or whatever. It's a chicken pox that I scratched. My mama told me not to scratch. So they call me Mole Nose. My maiden name was Munger. So they called me Mung Whore, Whoremonger. So what? I laugh, keep it moving. Nowadays, that's considered bullying, okay? But it also takes it to another level with social media, you guys. Things can happen in your classroom, and they Snapchat it, Kik, TikTok, whatever. They disperse it to their friends in the same school building. So even if you squash it in your classroom, once your class is dismissed, it's still out there. So as soon as they get in the hallway, all of their friends or associates or enemies or just, messy kids, they still keep it going. When they get home on the bus, they all pull out their cell phones to see what's been going on. It is nonstop for these kids. It is different. Bullying is different nowadays, you guys. So just be aware that it is different. Teachers, I tell my kids, first of all, you only have what you have because of what your parents can provide for you. That's it and that's all. Some of your parents made a choice and they have a job that might pay $200,000 a year, $100,000 a year, 80 grand a year, 60 grand a year, 30 grand a year, 15 grand a year. Some of your parents may not have any income at all and you are struggling. But guess what? That has absolutely nothing to do with your contribution. You didn't get to choose it. You were born into it. So how dare you make fun of anybody else? Because you only have what you have because of what your parents give you. And I tell my students that on the first day. So let me hear you talking about somebody's clothes. Let me hear you talking about somebody's shoes or somebody's hair. We don't do that in here. We don't do that in here. We are to be a light in a dark place. You don't know what your classmate is going through at home. So what you will not do is sit in here and be mean. In my classroom, we speak in love. We speak in kindness, we speak in respect, we speak in consideration for others. Now, that doesn't mean you have to like everybody. You don't have to like them, but you don't have to sit near them. You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to talk about them. That's not what we do in here. And if I hear that y'all are doing it out in the hallway, you're going to deal with me. That's not me yelling. I've already established rapport. I've already told them I love them. I've already told them I have 4 children and that I'm going to treat them just like I treat my children. And so I am loving, I am firm, and I have a sense of humor. So then when I have to get into you, you respect me enough to listen to me. It's a major difference. So y'all need to do better with this bullying stuff. These kids are going to the mental hospital because they are being bullied at school and they are attempting suicide. They are cutting because they need to let the pain out. Okay? Silent lunch. Stop that mess. I'ma just be real honest. Stop. Have you ever gone to a restaurant after you've been in a meeting all day and then somebody tells you you can sit at this table with your friends but you can't talk to them? How long that's gonna last for you? And what's your message? What are you proving? They still end up talking anyway. And then if you have a silent lunch table, then you're isolating them away from their friends. You are embarrassing them in front of their friends. You are making them feel like this is where they belong. Some kids sit at silent lunch all year. Y'all tell me that's some effective teaching? That's not effective teaching at all. What you're teaching this child is that I misbehave, and because I misbehave, I need to be taken away and separated from my friends, and I'm being punished for running my mouth. Yes, there is a time to talk. There's a time to be quiet. Okay? Don't get me wrong. But there are going to be comedians in your classroom. Let them shine. Kevin Hart was in elementary school one day. Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, all these great comedians had to go to school. And can you imagine if their teachers would have killed their spirit? Let your kids live. Let them talk. Okay? Let them talk. That's a part of the learning process. And stop this silent lunch. Come up with something else. I am more of a fan of incentives than consequences. Give your kids incentives. The ones that talk a lot, use them. Use them in your classroom. Use their natural gifts and talents in your classroom. No recess. This is my last one. No recess. Y'all, stop. Stop it. These kids need to get it out, especially in middle school. Y'all have taken away recess from middle school when all these hormones are raging. These boys need to get it out of their system. The girls need to get it out of their system. They need to go talk to their friends and skip and play hand games and chase the boys and talk about the boys. They need all of that. Okay? So, when my class is off the hook, I'm trying to teach, or they're supposed to be on task, and everybody is all over the place, you know what? Close your laptops. Close your books. Let's go outside. Let's go. Because y'all not, you can't do what I need you to do right now because you got too much going on inside of you. So let's go outside. I'm going to give y'all 15 minutes. I'm setting a timer right now on my phone. When the timer goes off and I raise my hand, where should you all be? In front of you? That's right. And when we come back in this classroom, what are you going to do? What we're supposed to be doing? That's right. Let's go. It's so simple. It is. Let me tell you. I absolutely love children, and some of you teachers are killing their spirits. Please, please, please do something different this school year. Do something different this school year today. They need us. Men, they need you. You don't have to be perfect. These boys need you. I just had a conversation with Justin the other day about what it takes to be a gentleman. And I was explaining to him how a lot of these boys in schools don't have an adequate male role model, and that our girls are going to have to be a little patient because they haven't been taught some of the things that a gentleman is supposed to do. So men, we need you. Just go volunteer, read a book, be a mentor, do something. Okay, so I've talked for like 17 minutes. I did not expect this video to be this long, but y'all know I get so passionate about my babies. You know, be good to these kids. You don't know what they're dealing with at home, and I've seen it when it manifests into depression and into cutting and into suicide at the mental hospital, okay? The same county that I taught in, were some of the same babies that were coming to the mental hospital, y'all. So I'm not talking about somebody that you don't know. I'm talking about the kids in your classroom, okay? Those are the babies that are cutting themselves. Be diligent in noticing what's going on with your kids. Are they cutting? Are they writing suicidal notes? Are they scared to go home because something is happening at home? Know your babies, you guys. That's all I'm saying. Know your babies. Teachers, you spend more time with some of these kids than their parents do. Okay? That is a huge responsibility. Huge responsibility. Pray every single day over your classroom and over your students. Pray for yourself as an educator, as an influencer of children's very lives. Okay? And make your parents, it's a team effort. We doing this together. I'm mama during the day. I'm mama during the day. You mama at night. For the most part. You mama at night. Now, I'm not trying to overstep what you do at home. But if what you're doing at home not working for my classroom, then guess what? We're going to have to work together to figure something out. Okay? So, y'all have a great school year, 2019 to 2020. Whoop, whoop. Your girl is still over here trying to find a school counseling job. So if y'all know anybody, let me know. I'm out here giving advice and I'm unemployed. Whoop, whoop. But it's all right. God got me. God got me. And I got my hands on a lot of stuff right now. But just wanted to let you guys know that I do love all of my educators. And I just want us to do better by children. So talk to y'all later. Bye.